I don't understand how there could have been 10 best WCW moments. I can't remember 2.
I can't believe you can count to 10.
Well, when it's counting backwards, it's okay.
Yeah,
And it's written on the paper.
Oh, so he can read off paper?
We're not talking about that.
You know what? It's like the pink elephant in the room. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge it.
It's time to go in-depth, and coming up this Sunday night on pay-per-view, it's TNA's Bound for Glory, the 6th installment of Bound for Glory. We're going to talk about the event and the history behind the event, which started back in 2005. Some big matchups have taken place on TNA's signature event of the year.
BFG.
And I had the privilege of being at the 2008 Bound for Glory. It was a fun show, a good show, and really, as we talked about with Jeff Jarrett last week, Robert Roode 2 weeks ago on the PWR radio show, it's all about the fan experience for TNA, and they have obviously the fan interaction and several other big things going on for Bound for Glory. A little history of the event first. Bound for Glory event was October 23rd in 2005. The main event of that was Jeff Jarrett versus Rhino for the TNA Championship. Tito Ortiz was the special.
It was the NWA Championship, wasn't it?
At the time, I think it was, yes. For the Tito Ortiz was the special guest referee in that match. Rhino winning and becoming champion, defeating Jeff Jarrett at Bound for Glory.
How about that?
That show also was dedicated to the Crusher.
God bless you.
I didn't say anything about Haku.
Oh.
Dedicated to the Crusher, who had passed away the night before. So that was the beginning of it all. It happened down in Orlando, Florida.
Wait a minute. Bound for Glory and Blizzard Brawl started at the same time.
That is true.
How about
surrounding the same individual?
Yes, the Crusher.
Fascinating.
See, it all makes sense.
That event, several matchups happening. Obviously, we talked about the main event on that matchup. A good show overall. Can I say I remember much more from it than the main event from 2005? No, not really, but still, that was the beginning of it all. And Tito Ortiz, being a part of that event, was a big deal at the time, and it was along the lines of the Chris Rocks and the was it Toby Keith or whoever they've used for some of these special appearances. And next year, we would see a new addition to TNA Wrestling, that in Kurt Angle, who came in to be the special enforcer on the title versus career match, pitting Jeff Jarrett against Sting. On this particular show, Bound for Glory 2, all titles in TNA, I believe there were 3 at the time, change hands, which was the first time ever on a TNA event that had happened. Sting wins the championship and retires Jeff Jarrett for some 2 years until he would return at Bound for Glory in 2008, Bound for Glory 4. Kurt Angle debuting some 4 years ago now in TNA Wrestling, and remember, that was a huge deal because of the circumstances by which he left WWE, and a lot of concerned people, including me, over Kurt Angle going into TNA Wrestling. Obviously, the situation given his injuries and his workload. Bound for Glory 3 was, again, Sting versus Kurt Angle. Sting winning that matchup and winning the championship. And that was also at that event in 2007 on October 14th where the TNA Women's Championship was introduced. And David Hero, care to remind the world who the first TNA Women's Champion was?
The lovely and talented Gail Kim.
You care to talk about that Divas matchup from Raw this past Monday night? I believe it was Alicia Fox versus Natalya.
No, I thought it was Lay Cool against the Bellas.
That was the second Divas match of the night.
I missed the first 20 minutes of Raw.
So you blinked.
I missed the first 20 minutes of Raw.
If you missed the first 20 minutes of Raw, all you missed was the Cena Nexus thing.
Really?
It
Well, I
went
missed
30
the
minutes.
first 21 minutes of Raw. I told you, I'm not talking about it. Just like you won't talk about other things around here, I am not going to talk about Alicia Fox getting jobbed out in a minute. Former
it wasn't a
ladies
minute.
champion.
It was less than a minute. It was
Okay.
about 42
well,
seconds.
see, here's the thing.
Thing
If it's
is,
under a minute, it doesn't count.
Bound for Glory 2008 coming to Chicago, Illinois. Sting versus Samoa Joe in the main event. Sting winning that matchup. Sting had a very long run of main events on Bound for Glory, and this time winning against Samoa Joe. It was also the return to the ring of Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle. Mick Foley, who had recently come into the company, was a special guest enforcer for that matchup, and Jeff Jarrett winning that matchup that night in Chicago against Kurt Angle. It was a great match.
It was a fantastic match. Those guys worked hard.
Yeah. And Sting Samoa Joe, by the way, great match as well.
And the amazing thing is, who would have known those two guys were actually wrestling over Karen Angle?
I don't even know if they knew at the time that they were wrestling over
Oh,
Kurt
they
Angle.
knew. Absolutely.
And last year's event, headlined by AJ Styles versus Sting. AJ Styles defeating Sting, and remember, Sting making the decision. Actually, I have to check that. I'm not sure what my matchup. But Sting
AJ
making
Styles.
All right. I don't know why I seem to remember Sting winning.
Well, because it was in California.
Well, but Sting making that decision, not on the pay-per-view, and neither on the Impact after, as to whether or not he was going to continue in the business, because he was saying it was going to be his last matchup on that night.
Until he got a new contract extension.
Standout match of the evening, though, probably went to Matt Morgan and Kurt Angle. It was a great match and made Matt Morgan.
I know you're
It's
not.
not my fault they didn't do
I know
anything
you're
with it
not
after.
feeling well. But really?
David Hero, in my personal opinion, it was a good match.
Okay.
It was the standout match of the
I'm
night.
glad
You
you-
disagree?
I'm glad
What
you
do you
like
like
it.
about it?
I didn't like it. I like both guys. They just didn't mesh well together.
Really?
Yeah.
Solid build. Matt Morgan proved he could do a lot more in the ring than a lot of people thought.
And where has he gone since then?
That's not his fault.
Yes, it is. If you can't get over, it's your fault.
Really.
Yeah.
In all cases.
I have talked to many a guy that have been saddled with a crappy gimmick, and they find a way to get over. Matt Morgan is talented, genetic freak. I mean, he is
The blueprint?
the blueprint.
All right. I can't say I was prepared to hear that from you this week. I'm just saying.
Well, it's in Mick Foley's book. You should have read that.
What page is that on?
It's
It can't get past 99 half the time.
It's chapter 11 days to lockdown. 159, by the way.
We're going to be fantasy booking, if you will, this Sunday's TNA Bound for Glory
Fantasy
pay-per-view,
booking?
if you will.
It's not fantasy booking. It's how it should go.
You know, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy for a lot of people out there. Next Thursday's radio show.
Popalicious.
Thursday PWR, Thursday Pope. It is happening, David.
You know-
Next Thursday, a special night, special time. Thursday PWR, Thursday Pope.
I want to thank everybody out there that has tagged me with the Pope on Twitter, on Facebook, MySpace. You know, this is like the WrestleMania for a lot of people.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. But listen, we're not going to argue. We're not going to fight. We're not going to bash each other. We're two professionals. And if it's my opinion against his opinion, that's all that it is.
Well, it should be interesting to say the least. That's Thursday PWR.
Well,
Thursday
that's
Pope.
if they let me be a part of the interview.
If you listen to radio this past week, you noticed David Hero did not participate in that interview with Jeff Jarrett due to, page 159.
Thanks, pal.
Thursday PWR, Thursday Pope next week.
Once again, it is time for this week's Top 5, brought to you by the man they call Meathead. Number 5 on the Top 5 list will be the man called Michael Cole. You have been number 1 for the last 2 weeks, but you know what? You weren't as funny. You were oversold a little bit too much, so from number 1, you've made it all the way back down to number 5. Number 4 on the Meathead's Top 5 is the tag team of Beer Money. I love what you've been doing in Fortune. Number 4, Beer Money. Number 3, I cannot believe the tag team of Beer Money. Number 3, AJ Styles is going to be number 3 on my list.
AJ Styles, Motor City Machine Guns,
Yeah.
the same blasted top 5 that you've had
Yeah,
for like
so what?
6 weeks.
So what?
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? It's not original anymore. You know, it's done. Matter of fact,
Have you met me?
It's done. It's over.
I am no, it's not over. This is my
yes,
say.
it is. Guess what? I just bought it. Take a hike, pal.
I'm
Done.
Unbelievable.
Are you all right?
That's right. Get the stepping.
Get the stepping.
Yeah, this is the Cos 5 from now on. Oh, by the way, if you think this is a work, or if this is lame, or it's stupid, you can hit the that forward button, when you're watching this, the same one you use when there's movies and you're ready for the money shot. Same one. Use that. You're used to it. For your parents come down, yeah, I know that one too. All right, here's the deal. Top 5. Okay, Meathead was the WCW guy, right? Okay. Top 5 wrestlers, WCW, all time. Number 5, Berlin. Number 4, Glacier. Number 3, the Shockmaster. Number two, the Yeti. Yeah, how about that? The Yeti. And number one's gonna be me. That's right, the cause. I've had this segment. I've waited 10 years for something. It's about time. The Cause 5 each and every week here on Primetime. Deal with it, pals.
This week's Fan of the Week is Ryan Roberts of Memphis, Tennessee. Ryan says, I have more of a concern to share after watching the John Cena little kid fan going nuts after Cena lost at Hell in the Cell video. I have been watching wrestling full time and for the past 10 years, ever since I was 9 years old. Not only have I been taught the differences between what's real and fake, I pretty much knew from the get-go. Do you feel the WWE should do more to warn people with not only the do not try this at home advertisements, but also tell the people to realize the differences between what's scripted and what's not? I honestly think WWE should go as far as putting up a MTV Jackass-like disclaimer before each program. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
Thank you, Linda.
We don't thank Linda enough. We don't thank Linda enough. She's going to be at WrestleMania next year. Are you all right?
I'm great. I'm just trying to...
The top 5 kind of threw you, huh?
Ryan Roberts from Memphis, Tennessee, our fan of the week.
He's going to Graceland.
Should WWE put a disclaimer on their programming so kids don't cry when John Cena goes heel?
No. Put a disclaimer on there about not to do the moves at home, but kids are going to cry.
Big kids or little kids?
We
What
were
about
at,
grown women?
hey, how about the jabronis that were crying when Shawn Michaels lost the retirement match?
Can I share something that is potentially embarrassing?
Then why would you do it?
Well, because I'm transparent. 1997, just like our president. 1990.
Oh my gosh, I can see my hand.
I believe it was 1997. When did Shawn Michaels get kicked in the back of the head by Owen Hart? It was on Raw. Remember they hard
Late
sold
90s,
it.
yes.
Raw went out the air or whatever. Do you know what I did the next day?
Did you write him a get well card?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I called Titan Tower to see if Shawn was okay. I did.
Wow.
I did.
Do you feel better now?
It was 13 years ago.
Yeah, you were 30 then. Come on.
No, how old was I? Ooh, I was 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what though? But it's good.
Let's go with 19.
Okay.
I certainly called to find, but they sold it. It looked real. He had just come back from losing his smile and injury.
I would edit this part of the show.
I'm not embarrassed. Like my Aldo Montoya fan club t-shirts. I got to bring it next week. I was the president of the Aldo Montoya fan club. Have you not heard this story?
You wore a jockstrap on your head?
I said t-shirt.
Oh.
1996 here at the Mecca Arena. I met Aldo. Gave him one of the membership cards that we had made for the Aldo Montoya fan club.
Bro.
He took me backstage.
You know why he took you backstage? Because nobody else would have believed him that there's an Aldo Montoya fan club if they went to see the president.
I was the president. It
Yeah.
said it on the card. President.
I'm sure. Why wouldn't it?
Oh, you've never had mark-out moments. You sit here holier than thou, and you've never had mark-out moments.
I've had mark-out moments.
Sure, do tell. A little bit of a counseling session here. Yes, I called Titan Tower to see if Shawn Michaels was
Honestly,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I have, but just
Nothing
nothing like
to that.
that.
I ain't afraid of no ghost. What's wrong with that? I'm a fan. If you're a fan, if we're not fans, then why the hell are we sitting here doing this? I wouldn't call today asking if Shawn Michaels was okay. I don't care.
Well, we do because the money's good, first of all.
Our fan of the week is
Ryan Roberts. What if he knows Justin Roberts?
Not from Memphis, he doesn't. Thank you for that email. You too can be fan of the week. Just simply send us an email via our website, pwrshow.com. Comments at pwrshow.com is the email address. And now it's time to talk a little bit more about TNA's Bound for Glory this Sunday night on pay-per-view. It's time for Be the Booker.